So talk more to me about issues you're facing on the LSAT, other struggles you're having.
I think another, I guess, struggle that I'm having is identifying the flaw in general in like LR. And that's one of the things too, because I think my process, I haven't solidified a good process for identity flaw questions yet. In terms of like once I like identify the premises and the conclusion, and then like my general idea is like, okay, find the gap. And then that's where like I get stuck because I'm like, okay, I think it could be this or another option. And so I think for me, that is another area where I'm like, okay, I need to improve my strategy on that type of question.
Okay, so when we say obviously you do want to find the gap, that is
Yeah.
a flaw is a kind of gap, but there are also other ways you could frame it for yourself that might make it easier for you to predict where they're going with it or to
Yeah.
articulate it for yourself. So what if you ask yourself, what are they failing to consider? What alternative possibilities or explanations have they not considered? Or you could think about, for a flaw question, what have they mistakenly assumed that they should not have assumed? So those are just a couple of directions that you can take it. And a lot of flaw questions will fit the classic logical fallacy model of, let's say, correlation causation confusion or
Hmm.
personal attacks or necessary sufficient confusion. But other times it is a little bit more open-ended and more particular to the argument itself, where they just didn't consider something that they should have, or they overextend themselves, like they go from a could to a must, which is too extreme
Yeah.
given the evidence. And I really do want you to
Okay.
try and predict or prephrase the flaw for yourself as you're doing. I think that's a good approach because it's much easier to spot it in the choices if you already have a general sense of what to be looking for. It's
Yeah.
like the argument's guilty of a crime and you've got to articulate what that crime is. But looking at a random list of crimes is only going to potentially confuse you further, especially if they're in more like the abstract language. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.